We've all heard it. Manufacturing in the U.S. is dead. I grew up in Elkhart, Indiana. And when I grew up, things were made there. Musical instruments, pharmaceuticals, recreational vehicles. But I didn't know what happened in those factories, and I didn't know what opportunities existed there. I knew I was a kid who liked to play games. So after getting hooked playing games on my friend's Atari after school, I saved up my paper route money and bought my first computer. A real powerhouse with 4K of memory and no disk. I played games. Then I taught myself to program so I could write my own games. Then in high school, an opportunity came along that changed my life. I was offered a job programming at a factory automation company. Now when I fixed a line of code, a machine started working in the real world. My curiosity was sparked. I changed my school and career plans, and 5 years later, I would file the papers to start my own company in that field. Years later, in 2008, I was a professor living in Ohio, and my hometown was in trouble. Elkhart County unemployment hit nearly 20%. The musical instrument and drug companies were gone, and the RV industry had been devastated by the combination of the recession and the credit crunch. The good jobs are gone, manufacturing was dying in the US. It was such a bad place that it became a popular stopping point for presidential candidates on the campaign trail as an example of everything that was going wrong. Now it's 2018. Most of us here today are in the engineering education field, and most of us see our students getting jobs pretty easily. Engineers are also being hired into project management positions, the logistics sector, and the financial sector. This is great. The engineering skill set is being broadly valued in this economy. But for many students, they're no longer seeing the manufacturing sector as a possible good career or even a possible career. Many of them have never been in a manufacturing facility. Manufacturing can be a great context for the students to let their entrepreneurial mindset flourish. When I talk to manufacturers in our region, they aren't concerned about foreign competition. Their number one concern is not taxes. It's not a lack of demand for their products. Their number one concern is good, qualified talent, and especially technical talent. The Wall Street Journal tells us there are more open jobs in manufacturing now than there have been in the last 15 years, and the number is climbing. We also want these opportunities for our students to let that mindset flourish. Most of us here have embraced the idea that a combination of skill sets and mindset is what will let our students have great careers. But do we give them a sandbox to let that mindset grow? Yes, maker spaces, innovation labs, and incubators on our campuses help. But the context of a manufacturing facility within an established for-profit company provides a great opportunity for students to test and develop their skill sets and their mindset while seeing a broad range of ways that they can work to create value. The needs of our region, the needs of our manufacturing constituency, the needs of our students, and the ability to provide this real context. These were the factors that convinced us, with support from the Kern Family Foundation, to put together a first-of-its-kind Keen course, one open to students from across the network and focused on the entrepreneurial mindset within a manufacturing setting. In our region, manufacturing is a major constituency, making up 20% of Ohio's GDP and nearly 30% of Indiana's. We selected 3 regional manufacturers to work with a broad range of value propositions, from forklifts to ready-to-assemble furniture to paper cups. This summer, we were able to bring 10 students from 7 Keene schools to visit these companies. They met with executives, learned some company history, learned about the company's value proposition and product lines, saw products being made. They met with practicing designers and engineers and learned about real problems they were facing day to day. This is much more than a plant tour. This is an opportunity to ignite the curiosity of our students. A student with a passion for sustainability is surprised to hear that a furniture company is using its own sawdust to make power, and that a paper cup manufacturer can trace the materials back to a specific sustainable tree farm. A student who's interested in design thinking hears the story of how weeks of observing forklift operators led to a completely unexpected innovation, a glove that the operator can use as a remote control and has drastically improved productivity. Between visits, the students research companies, practice design processes, and focus on the Keene student outcomes. This is an immersive course, so we're spending 8 hours a day together or more, plus there's homework. Students select some of those problems they heard about, form teams, and start working on solutions focused on creating value for that customer. With support from faculty, staff, and each other, they build prototypes. They get feedback from their customer. We also bring in small business owners and sales engineers to critique their work. At the end of the 3-week course, the students present their value proposition and their prototype. This course really is a sandbox where students can build their skill sets and mindset. They're learning about real challenges that manufacturers are facing in today's economy. Sure, technical challenges, but also fiscal challenges and labor challenges. One of the manufacturers told them how they've been outsourcing some work to their facility in China and automating some tasks, not to reduce costs, but because it's the only way they can meet production goals at a time that they're dealing with hundreds of open positions. I am here today to ask that if you have students that could benefit from this experience, please have them apply. You can see me later or email keene@onu.edu, and we'll be glad to send you more information and a video with students from across the country telling you how this experience benefited them. I'm not here to say that manufacturing is for everyone or even most people. It is a cyclical industry. The jobs are different, requiring more skills, and there are about 7 million fewer jobs in manufacturing than there were at the peak 30 years ago. But the manufacturing sector still employs more than 5 million more people than the tech sector. If none of our bright young minds know about the excitement, challenges, and opportunities in this sector, we may lose our manufacturing in the US, not because of foreign competition, but because of a lack of talent. To paraphrase Gwynne Shotwell, the CEO of SpaceX, we need to make things here because it helps us be better engineers. What about Elkhart? The latest unemployment numbers are very low, below 3%, translating to less than 3,000 people looking for work in a county with estimates of over 20,000 open jobs. Your area may have similar talent gaps. Are there opportunities in your area that could benefit students from across the network while meeting the needs of your stakeholders? Now is a great time for universities to be working with their constituents. Could you work with faculty and students to get them curious about something they barely know exists and help them understand how to create value in that context? We should be working to provide the same kind of life-changing opportunities for our students that I got with that first job offer many years ago. Manufacturing isn't dead. Let's not kill it through inaction. Thank you.